Good evening, everyone. So before proceeding with the formal business of the meeting, I would ask Bishop Alex Felipe of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to lead us in prayer.
Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this special day. We thank Thee for the opportunity that we have to gather together in council and to discuss the matters of the City of London and Luton and the citizens. We ask, Father, for Thy blessing to all those that are here with us today, especially to our mayor, as she gives her life to serve and to help those in our area. Father, that we might be blessed with strength and health, both in our bodies and mind, that we can help those in need, that we can reach out our hands and help everyone that we are able to, that we might have in our hearts the desire to be better every day and to give our best in everything that we do. Father, that we might leave here today better than we came, that we might get solutions for plans and projects that might be put in front of us today, and that we can do our best to act upon it. Father, we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please be seated. Right, good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Council. Before we begin, would members please sit in their allocated seats, silence their mobile phones, stand up when proposing and seconding items, switch microphones on to speak and off immediately afterwards. If there is an emergency, turn left out of the chamber, follow the green emergency exit signs to the main town hall entrance and assemble in St. George's Square. Please note, this meeting is being live streamed to the public. Any members of the public present are entitled to take photographs, film, audio record, and report on the business held in public, but must not act in a disruptive manner. If they do so, they may be asked to leave. So, it is my great pleasure to welcome to this meeting tonight the Lord Lieutenant Helen Nellis. I will now invite Councillor Simmons to speak.
Good evening, members. Good evening, everyone. In this wonderful year of Jubilee, we have all been reminded and rejoiced in the overriding sense of duty of Her Majesty the Queen. Her dedication and commitment to all of us over her 70 years' reign has been inspiring. It is this dedication to others that we have also seen in her representative here in Bedfordshire. As she has served the Queen, Helen has been a wonderful Lord Lieutenant, not only to those of us in Luton, but throughout the whole county in the last 10.5 years. Since she began her term of office on the 22nd of February 2012, Luton has had a special and strong supporter who has attended and spoken at many of our events and championed Luton at every opportunity. We are therefore deeply saddened to hear that Helen Nellis, the Lord Lieutenant of Bedfordshire, will be retiring. Her career has spanned the law, higher education, health and the commercial sector. A qualified barrister and academic by background, she has worked as a global senior executive search professional and has run a consultancy business as an executive and top team coach, specialising in the improvement of personal and board level leadership. She She has been a chairman of a number of large organisations, including in our county, Bedfordshire Health Association, Luton Health Action Zone, Bedford Hospitals NHS Acute Trust, as well as a member of the university governing bodies and councils in higher education, including vice chairman of the universities of Luton and Bedfordshire and a governor at 2 state sector schools in the county. Helen is also the patron of the beloved Keach Hospice Care. Helen, your tenure came at an extraordinary moment in our country's history. It is easy to forget that in the early months of 2020, as the COVID pandemic gripped us, we would frequently use and hear the word unprecedented to describe what we were experiencing. It was not an easy time for any of us, and the Lord Lieutenant, it presented you with many particular challenges. The expected opportunities for meeting businesses, communities, civic and faith leaders were extremely limited, and yet you rose to that challenge. Undaunted by the restrictions, you carried out your duties in new and innovative ways, keeping abreast with all of the goings-on in the county and taking particular interest in the countless volunteers whose self-sacrifice and community spirit reflected yours and that of the Queen. For that, and on behalf of the people of Luton, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your hard work and service and wish you all the very best for the future. We look forward to working with Susan Luceda, the Deputy Lieutenant, who will take up her role as Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of the county in September. But on a personal note, thank you very much, Helen, for all the years, and I've been at many events with you, and you have been fantastic, and I wish you all the best in your retirement.
Does any other member wish to speak? Yep, Councillor Franks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I won't detain you very long here. On behalf of the opposition members of the council, I just want, of course, to thank Helen for the work that she's put in over all those years. I'm sure, Helen, you're going to miss the busy, busy life. All we can say is we wish you very well with whatever you decide to do with the rest of your life.
Councillor M. Hussain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I just say that even as the leader has already said, despite the restrictions and going through the pandemic, soon as the restrictions were lifted, Helen was more in the activities of charities in Luton that I could even keep up as a mayor with her. And I think people of Luton particularly are very grateful the support she's given to all the charities in Luton over the years. And I think many of my colleagues sitting in this chamber will know that for 11 years you have really attended more events than most of us in this room. So for that we are very grateful to you. Thank you very much and wish you the good health and happy future. Thank you.
Councillor Aslam Khan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. An impressive CV, but at the same time, the passion, the dedication that you always presented, supporting those charities, supporting the council initiatives, whether it's tree project, whether it's education, whether there's those charities helping people who are vulnerable. You were always led by example, setting those standards which will be very difficult to follow. I've always been impressed the way you presented yourself, ever so graceful. We will miss you and we wish the best for you for the rest of your career or whatever you embark on. Thank you.
Councillor Javeri Hussain.
Thanks very much, Madam Mayor. Obviously disappointed that you're stepping down, Helen, but on a personal note, I'd like to say a huge, massive thank you so much for the amazing support that you've given to the thousands of women in not only Luton but across Bedfordshire, and an example that you've set of what it's like to be an empowered woman, and for always stepping up to that level, I should say, and for supporting women and inspiring women such as myself. So wishing you good health and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Councillor David Aggreby.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you know, Helen, you haven't only done work in Luton, you have done it international as well. I know personally that where my parents come from, where I come from, the Volta region, you have a charity there. So I would like to use this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the people in the Volta region for all your good work that you've done. Thank you very much.
Councillor Maria Lavelle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted to thank you, Helen, for all the good work that you've done and the support as well for our community, especially the African community as well. And to echo Councillor David as well for the work that you've done in Ghana. That we're so proud and so honoured to have you support us all the way, each way and every way since I've met you. And thank you so much and all the best. Thank you.
I think that's it for the speakers. Helen, is it possible if I can request that you come up to the dais, please? Come on this side. This is from us to you, from everyone at Luton Borough Council. We will miss you dearly. It's been a lovely, we've had a lovely relationship working with you, and we wish you the best for your future. From all of us.
Thank you so much.
I will now invite Helen Nellis to respond.
Thank you. Gosh, it's not so often, as you know, that I'm at a loss for words. But I do want to thank you most sincerely for this incredible honour that you do me tonight by inviting me here and to hear the words which you've spoken to me tonight. As you know, being Lord Lieutenant has been my passion, my life, for almost 11 years. And I have been proud to serve the Queen and also to serve the people of this county. But there is definitely a special place in my heart for the people of Luton. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful thing to be part of the journey that you are on still, but to reflect really back on perhaps 20 or 25 years since I first started working in Luton, and to see the amazing progress that this wonderful town and its people have made. It always, when I'm driving down the A6, I get a little flutter in my heart when I'm coming here, because I know that the people that I meet in all the different charities and all the different ways in which I interact with this wonderful town always give a warm welcome. And I look around and I see faces that perhaps come from very different backgrounds, but they're bonding together, learning from each other, understanding each other, and creating something new and very exciting here. So I wish you all many blessings for the future. Thank you for always welcoming me, and I have been so enriched by meeting all of you. I'm not going to be far away, so my eyes and my heart will still be with you. So please keep going. You're doing a fantastic job. There's more to be done, but you're certainly on the right road. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for attending the council meeting this evening, Lord Lieutenant. You are most welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, but please feel free to leave if you wish. Right, so moving on, the first item of business is to receive the minutes of the meetings of the council held on the 17th of May and the 14th of June 2022 as set out on pages 6 to 36. Does the council approve the minutes and agree to me signing them as a correct record? Okay. Right, moving on then. Are there any apologies for absence for this meeting?
Madam Mayor, I have apologies from Councillors Bridgen, Keynes, Masood, Pedersen, Petts and Young.
Okay, so Mayor's announcements. Members, please note that voting will be by exception. Rather than calling out each member's name to record their vote, I will ask members to indicate if they wish to vote against a motion. If no member votes against, I declare the item carried. The outcomes will not be recorded in the minutes unless 6 members of the council indicate that they wish for this to happen in accordance with Standing Order 20.2. I am holding a charity dinner event at the end of September. More details will be released shortly, but I hope to see as many of you there as possible. So section 106 disclosures. All members of the council have... Sorry, that's using it. Yep.
Madam Mayor, all members of the council have been circulated with a list of items before the council this evening which fall within the ambit of section 106 of the Local Government Finance Act 1992. Any member affected should disclose the fact and refrain from voting on any question relating to those items. Madam Mayor, I have received no section 106 disclosures. I have also received no disclosures of interest.
Right, report of the Standard Committee. The next item is
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendations set out at paragraph 2 on page 37.
Is the motion seconded? Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? The motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? The motion is carried. I call upon Councillor Yasmin Waheed to present the report of the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Authority as set out on pages 57 to 66.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I present these reports of Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Service Authority, to the Council.
Is the motion seconded? Are there any questions? Does the council receive the report? If any member objects, please indicate. Otherwise, I will assume all members are in agreement. So, with regard to agenda item 8, there are no written questions this evening for the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Authority. The next item is agenda item 9, the annual report of the executive leader. I now invite Councillor Simmons to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendations as set out on the paragraph 2 on page 67.
Is the motion seconded? Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? The motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? The motion is carried. The next item is agenda item 10.1, Scrutiny Annual Report 2021 to 2022. I call upon Councillor Tahir Malik to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendations set out at paragraph 2 on page 70.
Is the motion seconded? Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? The motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? The motion is carried. I call upon Councillor Donnellan to present the Bedfordshire Police and Crime Panel Annual Activity Report, that's 2021 to 2022, as set out on pages 105 to 115.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to present the report, but there's one amendment which is really just a typo. It's the penultimate paragraph on page 115, which calls the Commissioner, sets her out as her, when of course we all know that our Commissioner now is a him. Thank you very much.
Is the motion seconded? Are there any questions? Does the Council receive the report? Yeah. The next item of business is the notice of motion set out at agenda item 12.1. I call upon Councillor Taylor to move the motion.
Madam Mayor.
As the Advice Monitoring Officer, Chair of the Employers' Side, the NJC, on this motion, and the next motion on the fire, I'm a member on that, so I'm on the decision-making bodies. So do I need to declare an interest and leave, or do I need to declare an interest and stay? Which do I need to do?
Disclose an interest and leave, Councillor Golding.
Fine.
And
Thank you.
similarly, I need to declare an interest. My wife has recently started working for the local authority, so I will declare an interest and leave.
Right, can I ask Councillor Taylor to deal with this, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I formally move the motion.
Is the motion seconded?
Seconded and reserve the right, Madam Mayor.
Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? The motion is before the Council. Does any member vote against the proposal?
Just very quickly, very pleased to second this motion. Our staff have been working tirelessly over the last 2 years and have had derogatory pay rises. When the other public sector's pay rises are announced, 2 of them have been, it won't be the NHS or the police that have to find the money, but for ours, it will be the council. It is a long time since that the government should give the money for the pay rises directly from new money from them and not expect the council to find it from its already ravaged budgets. And I fully support this motion and hope everybody will vote for it. Thank you.
Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I agree with the comments of Councillor Skeppelhorn. There was an announcement today of a 6% pay rise for public sector workers. But when you realise inflation is 9.1% and due to get even higher, what it defines is a pay cut. I think the government have got to get to grips with this, whoever the government may be in the next few weeks. But I noticed one of the candidates for Prime Minister was blaming the Bank of England for inflation. Now, the Bank of England is an independent body since Gordon Brown released it from the clutches of the government. So I think fiscal policy is what causes inflation, not the Bank of England. So I'd just like to see the government get to grips. And this motion is actually sent to the Secretary of State, who we don't know who that is at the moment, and funded with certainly new money. It's got to be new money from the government to put people back where they were in 2010. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So the motion is before the Council. Does any member vote against the proposal? The motion is carried. The next item of business is the notice of motion set out at agenda item 12.2. I call upon Councillor Franks to move the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do seem to be inflicted by a government that's determined to tinker with everything, whether it's broken and needs fixing or not. The proposals here to hand control of the fire service to the Police and Crime Commissioner have been made before. We heard them some years ago when Police and Crime Commissioners first came into existence, and fortunately not very much happened as a result of that. This proposal has been discussed widely across Bedfordshire, and I have to tell you that Central Bedfordshire Council is decidedly against the government's plan. So is Bedford Borough Council. So I hope will be Luton Borough Council this evening. The Bedfordshire Fire Authority is unanimously against. The fire service itself, the management, is entirely against. It's interesting here that Bedfordshire Fire will be sending 2 responses to this consultation, one from the Fire Authority and another one from the management of the fire service. And they will both roundly condemn the proposal. Interestingly enough, the current incumbent of the post of Police and Crime Commissioner said when he was first elected that he didn't want to take over the fire service, that the job he had to do in managing the police in conjunction with the police constable was quite a big enough job, thank you very much, and he didn't want any more. And for once in my life, and I don't very often agree with Tories, but for once in my life, I have to say I do agree with him. He's absolutely right. I hope that every member of the council will support the motion, and that the the official response to government consultations is a responsibility of the executive in this authority, and I hope the executive will make a robust response along the lines laid out in this motion. I appeal to everyone to vote for it, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Franks. So is the motion seconded?
So can I just check with monitoring, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, given there are members in the council that are on the fire authority, I just want to check with conflict of interest, because I wouldn't want the public to be saying that we're voting to keep our position. So can we have some guidance, please?
Yes, those members who are members of the Fire Authority should disclose an interest and withdraw.
So those who are members of the fire authority should leave the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so can that be minuted, please?
An interesting situation, Madam Mayor. I've just moved the motion, and
know.
I am a member of the Fire Authority.
I know, but...
And I honestly do not believe that I have a declarable interest to declare. But if the official advice is that I should leave the meeting, then I will follow that advice and leave the meeting.
Yeah, prevention's better than cure.
Can I...
I also would like to declare interest. I'm one of the representatives for the Luton Borough Council on Fire Authority. So in that case, I might have to leave.
Okay, so those of you that need to leave, can you please leave? Right, I believe. Yep.
Is the motion seconded? So are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion?
I'm pleased to see that Councillor Franks' motion has been seconded by Councillor Shaw to provide cross-party support with our Labour councillors on this motion. As the motion states, Bedfordshire police are under-resourced. This is partially because of it being, frankly, misplaced by the funding formula. Whatever anyone's view of the idea of commissioners, or any particular commissioner, the role of PCC in Bedfordshire under these constraints is a difficult enough job without lumping an entirely different branch of our emergency services one in with it, one that, despite its own constraints, seems to be performing well. and that is before you get to any democratic concerns, as is highlighted by the motion. As Councillor Franks has mentioned, this review came to the Police and Crime Board some time ago. At the time, it appears it was unanimous with members of all three parties and all three councils, as well as independents on the panel, that it is an unnecessary move for Bedfordshire. It is evident from the original legislation that was brought in by central government that when they brought in commissioners, that what Westminster wanted was fire authorities to come under the office of the police commissioner. This white paper stinks of the central government asking a leading question, not liking the answer it got from some councils, so asking the question again and hoping for a different answer. As a result, I support this motion. I hope as a council we support it unanimously.
Right, thanks, Councillor Moore. The motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? Oh, sorry, yeah, go on.
I'm going to break a precedent now. I'm going to support what David Frank said. First time I think I've ever done that, supported the Liberals. But he's 100% right. And one of the reasons he's right is the fire service is no longer just a fire service. Over the years, they've added more and more duties into them. Now they're first responders. They get there quite often before the ambulance service or the police get there. And they have to deal with everything. They're being trained up to be first responders. But they're the lowest paid of all the blue light services. My view is all blue light services, ambulance, fire brigade, police, all deserve a decent rise. But they're not. They're not even getting an inflation-linked rise. And that is just wrong with a service where we're putting more and more duties on them all the time. The Chief Fire Officer has been invited to come and talk to a full council in September because he asked if he could come and we've arranged it. But my worry is the PCC is a political appointment. Why fetch politics into the post of the Chief Fire Officer? You've already got a good group what work together from across the county. They work with the fire officer, they do his fire plan, they do everything else. The PCC, it took him 3 attempts to get his crime plan passed by his own group. What's he going to do when he's got a fire plan he's got to get passed as well? It's just not going to happen. But if we do believe in supporting the fire brigade, and as far as I'm concerned, the fire brigade in Bedfordshire is our best partner this council has got, especially from an housing point of view. They work with us closely, they do inspections with us, they do inspections jointly with our tenants. They never say no when we ask them to come round and inspect high-rise. They do exercises in high-rise just to make sure they know it all works and everything else. Why would we want to complicate what is a good working relationship by putting someone politically in control of them all? It just doesn't make any sense at all. And on the questionnaire the government set out, there's loads and loads of questions, but there's one question there, I think it's question 22. I think that's the only one we should fill in. And on question 22, we should say, we are not interested in this, we will not support it, so we don't need to answer the rest of the questions. That's it, that's all we need to do. So with that, I'm happy to second the Liberal motion. I'm very happy to do it this time, and I hope it is unanimous, and I hope it's unanimous right across the county with all the councils in the county all speaking with one voice on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Shaw. So, the proposal is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? The motion is carried. That concludes the business for this meeting. I thank you for your attendance and have a lovely evening.